We are nothing sacred. We are nothing sacred. We are nothing sacred.
With Maxwell Silverhammer.
We are nothing sacred. With cruise control. We are nothing sacred.
Oh, yes, bitches.
Yes, it's us again. It is the cruise control.
And it is Maxwell Silverhammer.
And we got the...
And Luie Loke.
Yes, for the
Yes.
shrink wrap with Luie Loke. This is the Nothing Sacred shrink wrap.
And you just heard our new intro that we
Yep.
did for the new year.
New intro for the new year.
We played
courtesy
it on
of
our
Madrone
live stream,
Studios.
but we didn't
Yeah.
want to. The live stream didn't really come out too good.
Yeah,
so.
it wasn't the greatest success. But you know what? You got to try to do it. Next time we'll know better, and we won't use it.
I watched the live stream on the replay, and I thought it was pretty damn cool. You know?
Oh, okay. Well, thank
Okay.
you.
It was just-
well, thank you.
It was just you guys just being real and being you. So
Well, that's
Oh,
true.
that's
It was
pretty
just
cool.
kind of hard to hear us, though. You know what I'm saying? That was the thing.
Well, regardless, if you do want to hear that, you can go to our Facebook page, Nothing Sacred on Facebook, and it's right there. You can just scroll down and play it from there. So
See us live.
if you want to check it out. Yeah, we're going to talk tonight.
About
It is the 10th of January. At least that's when this is going to be posted. 2022.
yes, and we're going to talk about New Year's resolutions and
And
holiday.
the holiday mental health.
Yeah,
Because a lot of people say, you just got to get through the holidays. And, and there's a lot of reasons behind all that. So let's start. I guess we should start since it is the new year. Let's start with New Year's resolutions and the psychological bullshit around those. And
oh
how,
yeah.
Because this is
I like psychological bullshit around it.
yeah,
It
see,
really
'cause-
is,
Well, because
you know?
here's my take on it. It's like when the person says they're going to stop drinking after this weekend. It's the same thing. After this weekend, I'm going to stop drinking. I'm going to change. So it's like November 3rd, and they're like, after the holidays, I'm going to. So then from November to December, they just wreck themselves.
Yeah, like it's not stop drinking time yet.
No. So it's an excuse to actually dive more into your addictions and your problems before the new year. Because if you really, why wait, right?
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Well,
Is there? I don't know if you know, Luie. Is there a psychological stuff around that you looked into, or what?
So you ever notice that a lot of resolutions are about stopping something
yes.
rather than starting something?
Mm.
Yeah. Good point.
Yeah. So a lot of times I think that when we focus our mind on stopping, I don't know, sugar consumption or stop eating sweets after whatever time of day or something like that, it's like that always seems to come to mind, even though you're trying to stop it.
Right.
It's like the one thing that kind of like it's not resting on the back burner, it's kind of resting on the front burner, like, oh yeah, I gotta make sure that I'm stopping, I gotta make sure.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's
good.
But it's like if you focus on something that you're actually willing to start, like, okay, I'm willing to start drinking more water, let's say.
Yeah.
Because I know for me, like, I'm a soda drinker. Like I consume way too much soda,
that's not
way
good.
too much caffeine. Oh yeah, it's not good. I know it's not good.
But you do it. But hey.
But I do it. So I'm not going to make a resolution to stop drinking soda, because then it's just going to be like, oh yeah, I told everybody I was going to stop drinking soda. Soda. And soda's just kind of resting on the front burner. Like, it's like there. But if I say, you know what, I'm going to start consuming more water. So whenever I'm thirsty, I'm going to consume water.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And so that kind of replaces the whole soda thing. And you're just like, oh, you know what? I've already gone like a whole week without drinking soda because I started to drink water instead.
It's almost like if you say you're stopping doing something, first of all, it's a negative connotation. Stop, no more, no stop. Right. Instead of replacing it with that, but it creates a boogeyman in your mind, because you're like, I need to stop. So then in the front burner, you're stopping, and you got the can of soda going, hello.
Right.
Well, if you say you're drinking more water,
you just drinking more water.
Yeah.
Well, I've heard people say they're going to start doing something and they don't. It's just empty promises in a lot of cases.
It's the same kind of thing on the other hand. It's all about delaying what you should be doing already, because if you think you should start at the beginning of the year, then you really probably should be starting now or stopping whatever you're doing, right?
The cool thing is that you brought up the whole idea of shoulds. Remember, we talked about this before, the should thing.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
And the should thing is all about, what does society want? Oh, I've gotten a little fat in the gut area. I better lose weight because society tells me I need to be a certain shape and size and all that kind of good stuff, right? So it's something that I should do instead of something that I actually want to do.
That's true.
So there's all this these ideas of what should I do versus, well, what's in my values? Like, maybe I want to be a nicer person this year. Well, you could put that in the should category. Well, society thinks that I should be like a very nice person and not be so mean. Or it's just kind of in your nature. You're like, you know what? I just need to be better because I kind of sucked at it last year. I'm going to try better this year. So I'm going to start being a little nicer and less of an asshole, kind of a thing.
Just for me, I stopped doing resolutions years ago, man. I was like, this just isn't,
I didn't do anything this year for sure. I was thinking about you guys' podcast last week, or live stream last week. And I was feeling the same way. Like, I just thought of it as another ordinary day. Like, oh, New Year's Day, great. The calendar changed, but nothing else has really changed, and I don't know why. I don't know the reason why behind that.
Yeah, but, it doesn't feel like a new year, does it?
Really? No, it doesn't. It doesn't. And I have no idea why. I don't know if it's our age. Why you just get older and you're just like, it's just another year. Who cares?
Maybe.
Kind of get into that.
I kind of feel it a little bit, but I can definitely see where you guys, it just doesn't feel, I think probably a lot of it has to do with the situation we're under nationally and internationally. It's all the same.
That's true. It hasn't changed.
It's not like it's a new thing. We're under this damn, whatever the hell this is. We wouldn't go into that. But the point is, it's like the same oppressive cloud. It's like, the skies are cloudy. And it's all of a sudden New Year's, and the skies are still cloudy. Still got the same. It's like the same damn clouds, the same fog, same weather.
What's weird is that I saw people like hugging each other and like, oh, it's Happy New Year, blah, blah, blah. And they're wishing me a Happy New Year, and I'm just like, Happy New Year. Like, okay. Nothing's and I'm not normally like that. Usually I'm kind of like in that swing. Like, I'm like, yes, the year is over. Let's start over. Let's do this. And for some reason this year I was just like, I don't really.
I think, man, because the last 2 years we've kind of just ran into, kind of like Cruise Control was saying, we just been hitting walls. And so you stop doing this whole thing of, oh, it's a new year. It's going to be a good one. This is my year.
Right.
You start thinking that shit too. And, then you get disappointed. So I think maybe this year we just got a little more realistic with ourselves, and we're like, you know what? It's just a new year. We're going to just see what happens. We're not going to pass any judgments or any of that shit,
Yeah.
I think another problem. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, like, on one of my mental health Mondays, which I have actually kind of stopped doing.
Why did you stop?
I kind of brought it to a screeching halt. I think it was because, I was moving and I was just like, where am I going to actually create this live stream? How am I going to do it? And I'm just like, forget it, So I just kind of like let it go for a while. I may bring it back up again, but
if you need to,
that's just, I don't know.
Regardless, Luie, you always have us.
I know. That's what I'm saying, man.
You jump on the shrink wrap, man.
Come on the shrink wrap, and you can get your fill, and you can be all popular and stuff like that.
Put your name out there.
Our 12 viewers that are listening will be
those
like,
12 people are digging you, man.
The shit out of this. Another thing I want to bring up about New Year's resolutions and why they always fail is because it's always extreme. Right,
that's true.
I'm going to stop drinking, and then so it's like New Year's Eve, you're getting plastered, and then the next day, the whole Christmas season for 2 or 3 weeks. And so people don't actually have really realistic expectations, and they go all or nothing, cold turkey, black or white.
Right.
Same thing with exercising. They'll get into exercising, and they'll they'll do a hardcore workout like 2 days, and then they'll be in so much fucking pain or whatever that they stop doing it and they don't get in the habit of doing it instead of easing themselves into it or out of it.
Well, cruise control created a good segue for what I was about to say.
Oh, so that's what I do.
Okay.
So yeah. So you know, I on a previous Mental Health Monday, I talked about goals, and I talked about SMART goals. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah, I do remember that one, actually.
Basically, like specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound, time-sensitive.
Right.
And what, like, in some of the research that I've been kind of like looking up, there's a book. I'm gonna do a plug again.
Oh, butt plug.
Butt plug. No, but you know, it's a book by it's called J.B. Fogg. It's a psychologist anyway, and the book is called Tiny Habits. And his idea is that if instead of making these big, huge habits, like I'm going to work out, you know, and it's like not really specific. It's just like, I'm going to work out, you know, and there's no like, I'm going to work out for like 30 minutes a day or something like that, or whatever, you know? But basically like the tiny habits are like, hey, you know, start off small, off like by saying, and this is kind of, it sounds ridiculous, but at the same time, it's like, that's not a bad idea. Start off by saying, you know what, every day I'm going to at least work out 2 minutes a day.
Okay. So
it
a smaller goal.
So it doesn't look as daunting, but it starts you off.
Yes.
It's almost this idea of you're never going to be motivated to just do this big, huge goal. But you can start with a small goal and actually your motivation starts to build. And so you're like, you know what? I did this for 2 minutes today. I think I can do it for 4 minutes tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right.
And maybe 6 minutes the next day or whatever, however it works.
Yeah. And then the process of actually doing that gets you in the habit, not the time you're doing it, but the doing of it, the focus of it. Like I'm doing this so if you do it for 2 minutes a day for 3 weeks, and then you get up and you go, I got to work out. So then, you know, even if you got that 2 minutes, so if you do 2 minutes, then 4 minutes and 6 minutes, the fact that you're doing it every day and getting your stuff I get up, I work out. That's what I do, you know, or Max, maybe it's you. I get home and I get on my treadmill.
Right.
You know?
Well, that's what started me originally. I didn't put a time on it. This is why this is great what he's talking about, because I didn't say I'm going to work out for 30 minutes every day. You know, I would just say I'm going to work out every day. So, you know, maybe 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, you know, something like that.
Yeah.
And now you're at the point, and after about a month, you got to the point where you're like, you don't feel right when you don't do it. Right. Because the habit has been formed. So even if you do it and then you start might increase, like an example for me is push-ups. And this is even after I started working out, because I got on my trampoline, you know, I do that 15 minutes a day, at least every day. You know, not without fail. You know, of course, unless I'm doing something else, obviously, but you know,
but most of the time,
I'm doing it.
You're on that trampoline every day.
So I'm like, I need to add some more to this. So what do? You add push-ups. So I added these perfect push-ups. I started doing 15 a day, like 3 sets of 5 a day, every other day or so, whenever. And then next week I went to 6 so 18 total, 6 little reps of it. And then the next week I went to 7. And then 8, and then now I'm at 10. And so now I'm like, okay, I need to go up to another level. So next time I go up to the level, which is using a different, like, positioning, stancing, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
With the push-ups, then I'll go back to 5, at 5 each set. So 15 a day, then back up to 6. And then you build yourself up that way. You know,
that's
so another thing that he says also is that, you know, you can connect your habits to other things that you're already doing. Let's just say, like, as soon as I start the pot of coffee, let's just say, I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit of workout while I'm waiting for the coffee to brew or something.
Okay.
Something that you're already doing, and you kind of connect it to the thing that you want to do.
So working it into your routine, sort of like, you know, I'm going to put the coffee on, and while the coffee's going, I'll do some push-ups or something. Or Gotcha.
Yeah.
See, I could see that also having a negative connotation, though, too. Not to get too negative, but like associating an activity with, let's say, smoking or drinking. And so that when you do that, you'll never do that activity without it, but you love doing it, like gaming or whatever, listening to music or, you know, whatever, walking, whatever it is.
Sure.
So that's a kind of a thing to keep an eye out for too, is trying to not to associate bad habits with things you like to do. Because I've noticed that's been a trip up for me in some places.
I think that's what makes the habit a habit in the first place, though. It's like things you like to do, and then you jump into the next thing, and it's like, so you can kind of create this whole idea of having a good habit, replacing that bad habit kind of thing.
Yeah, or like instead of saying I'm going to drink a lot of water when I game, or I'm going to drink a lot of non-calorie soda or whatever, or seltzer or whatever, when I game or when I do something else, so that I'm drinking something still, but it's not something that's going to make me regret it the next day. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's kind of the thing, like like with a lot of stuff like that. That's an interesting idea. It's like small little habits, because that's how you build habits. It's starting small. I think that's a great point right there.
It is. Yeah. That's totally cool.
And then you can kind of combine the whole idea of SMART goals with the small habits. So basically, in a nutshell, SMART goals are something that's specific. So I don't know, I want to drink 8 ounces of water every couple of hours, something like that.
Okay.
Something that's very, very specific as far as how many ounces of water you want to drink. You don't just want to say, I just want to drink more water. It's too vague. It's like, well, how much is more?
Yeah, exactly. I got you.
It's too vague.
Or
you
maybe
want to be specific.
Yeah.
And then you want it to be measurable. You want it to be measurable so that you can kind of see the progress. Like, okay, first I want to start drinking 8 ounces of water every 2 hours, but maybe I want to amp it up after a while. But it has to be measurable. So it's like, okay, let me have something to measure it with.
But you can start off small, right? Like you were saying earlier, you don't do. I'm going to drink a gallon of water an hour or some crazy shit.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Something that's not achievable or not realistic.
Plus, you'll associate that with being waterlogged because.
Oh yeah, you'd be pissing a lot too.
Well, actually, you can actually overdose on water. So just
I've heard of that.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Mm-hmm. It's not. It ain't pretty either. It's supposed to be pretty fucking rough, dude. It's supposed to be like very. That's what people who do a lot of ecstasy.
Oh, really?
Clubs they're because they're constantly drinking water, and they'd actually drink too much of it and have water poisoning.
Actually, I heard this story. It was some woman did one of these radio station contests or something. Where they make her drink all this water or some shit, and she died. I think her kidneys exploded or bladder exploded. Crazy. Yeah, something fucked up happened.
Like some crazy ass fucking exploded, like a water balloon inside of her.
Like your kidneys ruptured. Something crazy. It was something crazy like that, where they wouldn't let her use the restroom, and they said you got to drink all this water, or so. It was some radio station contest that they did years ago.
The old school radio station contests when people listen to the radio.
Those guys.
Yeah.
I think another thing.
Plus they have to be achievable. So like achievable is basically like you're saying, you're not going to drink a whole gallon of water in 1 hour. It's not. Mm-hmm. It's pretty hard to do. That's not easy to do. But something achievable is like 8 ounces every couple of hours. Well, you can do that.
Or just something like you sip on every time your glass is empty, fill it up. Yeah. And then just sip on it. Like if you have an 8 ounce bottle or whatever, or
exactly.
Or depending on where you live, don't drink the tap water.
You're living here, huh? Hey, listen, guys, I'd still drink tap water.
I know, and that's what's wrong with you, dude.
But here's the thing. As a kid, I used to drink out of the garden hose all the time.
We used to too, because we didn't know the water's terrible.
Well, but I guess the point was we were doing it then, and nothing's happened.
Yeah, maybe I don't know.
So
there's a lot of shit.
Immunity.
I made the mistake of watching a podcast this afternoon. They were talking about plastic absorption into the skin and in the water and shit like that.
Oh God!
No. I'm going to tell you something. You're going to laugh at this. And how like children of people who are these phthalates or whatever, phthalates, right? Children of mammals and humans.
Okay.
They have smaller taints, or men do.
What?
Yeah. And no. And the shorter taints. Like your taint is supposed to be 1.5 inches to 2 inches.
Okay.
Between your scrotum and your butthole.
If you say so.
And so next generations have smaller taints, so they have lower sperm counts. And they're more infertile because I guess the shorter the taint,
What's the cause of the smaller taints? Why is it happening?
This phthalate plastic stuff. Like if you drink out of plastic cups and stuff like that or whatever.
Oh shit.
Supposedly. Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. So like,
Maxwell, you're screwing over your taint.
Hey, well, you know what?
Not your own. You're not gonna your own shrink tank.
Actually, you know what? It doesn't matter because I'm sterile anyway. I got my remember I got sterilized, so I won't be having a kid with a small tank.
Who knows what the fuck's going on there? But anyways, that's my paranoid thing of the day. So
wow, man, watch that tape, man. Make sure it's
ain't nothing to worry about, guys. Just
ain't nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
But then, lastly, realistic and time bound.
Yeah,
they kind of, they're kind of self-explanatory. So it spells out smart, specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound. And I know I've been cutting you off about what you wanted to ask.
You haven't.
So please ask your question.
No, man. I'm on this shit all the time, man.
We're rolling.
This is your episode, so that's why I'm kind of wanted you to finish, because I think kind of something that you go with is also the act of actually setting a schedule. Like if you don't have, even if you work all day in the evening, if you want to do something like write songs, more songs or workout, we'll say, hey, 6 o'clock when I get home, I'm going to work out for 5 minutes. Boom.
Right. Yep.
At 6:15, 6:30, I'm going to write a song. 7 o'clock, I'm going to take 5 minutes and just think about a song I'm going to write.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And this is especially important for people who don't have set schedules like myself, because that's one thing I'm really trying to work on. Because if you don't have a schedule, just end up to sit around on your ass all day watching YouTube videos.
Oh, right. And then all of a sudden you're going, fuck, it's 5 o'clock, man.
And you're like, oh, well, this is great. But then if you just say, hey, when I get up, I'm going to work out. First, that's when I get up, wait for a minute, and then I work out. What I really need to do is start setting a fucking wake up time, and that way just have a really set schedule. But that's another goal. Like I said, it's another realistic goal you can do. I can just set my alarm for a certain time,
specific time to wake up. Yep.
Wake up. If I still feel groggy because I didn't get enough sleep the night before, it's okay. Just get through, and then the next night do the same thing.
Right. Right.
Because I think that's really important too. Is just having some kind of schedule or.
You do need a routine, man.
Yeah, some kind of routine.
Yeah.
Because I think another thing that's important about resolutions in general is that what we do is we go, I don't know, let's say we go like 30 days and we just rock that. Whatever the resolution we're trying to do, we're just rocking it. And then we fail and we're like, better luck next year, and we just stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you had like a week you missed out or something.
Yeah, a weak moment. And everybody has a weak moment. Just it's just natural human nature to have a weak moment, right?
Right. Oh, yeah.
If you like do the best you can to jump back on that horse and be like, okay, fine. I messed up today. I'm going to do this better tomorrow.
Right.
Yeah. We're going to start this whole process. We're going to continue this whole process instead of saying, "Oh, I messed up. I got to start over." You're not starting over. You're just finishing off
on day one. No, you
started.
had to stumble. Just because you stumbled doesn't mean you're starting over. You didn't do something or did something you were supposed to do for 4 weeks. You didn't do it one day.
Mm-hmm.
No, not a big deal. Yeah, well, and that's the thing too. Like even with working out, there's been a couple, like a day or two that I missed or whatever. Sure. But then as soon as I'm back, able to do it for whatever reason, then it's like, oh, I'm back to working out. Get on that treadmill.
Right.
Yeah. But then the scary part is if you wait too long, that first day is like, oh, do I want to get on here again? Because then you're getting those bad habits.
Yeah. No. I refuse to let that happen again, because I used to have that.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and that's definitely something that I got out of. For a while, I was doing my trampoline, jumping on my rebounding trampoline every day for and then all of a sudden my feet got hurt, and I couldn't do it for a while, and then trying to get back into it is just like,
right. Then you got to jumpstart yourself, kind of,
Yeah. Because
I love the fact that Max has a certain thing that he does, and that Cruise Control has a certain thing that he does, and that's the thing about especially when it comes to let's say weight loss or something like that. You got to find something that you actually enjoy doing, because if you don't, you're just going to be like, oh man, this is going to be a pain in the ass.
Yeah, I don't want to do this or whatever. Yeah.
Now, I'm gonna say something that should be on everyone's resolution list, and this is completely serious here. Move.
Just move.
Just move. Get yourself going. Move. The reason why older people who are really active is because they're really active. It really is that simple. Yeah. like they're active because they don't know how not to be. So they're not sitting around going, oh shit, I'm gonna shit on my ass.
Right. They just sit in a chair.
Move, and that's probably one of the biggest benefits to being visually impaired since we can't drive, we have to walk.
That's true. If we're gonna get anywhere,
unless you got a lot of money to buy an Uber every fucking where you go. If you are going to be save any kind of money or anything, you have to walk a lot. You know?
Well, here's the issue that I've kind of seen though, is that sometimes visually impaired people are kind of on the chunkier side. Because people are doing things for them, or they're just like, you know, they feel like I can't go to a gym, I can't do these things, or whatever excuse or reasoning or whatever they want to call it, is stopping them from doing what they need to do. But at the same time, it's all about taking responsibility for what you need to do. You know, so like you're saying, make a move. Like, let's, you know, if you're not walking, start walking. You know, grab your cane, grab your guide dog, whatever mode of guidance you need, get it and do it. You know? Don't just sit on your ass and say, "Oh, I can't do it because there's no gym and I can't get to a gym."
Which is ridiculous. I don't have the
transportation to get to a gym, or you know, I won't know how to use the equipment. You know, there's all these.
Here's a perfect example of that. I got there's a guy's story. I don't know if you guys remember Adam Curry. The MTV DJ from the old school. Adam Curry. Well, he was on Joe Rogan's. He's the same. They were talking about the taints in that show. That's what I got.
That was okay. All right.
But another thing they were talking about is he's like this guy I knew. He was like 350 pounds. I hadn't seen him for like 6 to 8, 10 months. I came back and he had lost like 100 pounds. And I'm like, what the hell did you do? He goes, I started walking. Every time I put on my 10 minutes of songs, I would get up and walk around the building. And then I would come back and then I would put on my next set of songs and I'd get up and walk around the stadium, the station or whatever. And then I just did that all the time. So every time there were songs playing, you know, I'd go out and walk around. And he goes, just, you know, so walking and other things. And I think if you're an exercise person and you are, you know, trying to move more, I think Max and I might have a good, and walking of course is great, but have a good, plan is that don't always go for I'm going to go to the gym and work. I fucking hate lifting weights.
I just don't want to be in a gym. I don't like gyms.
I can't stand like,
cool.
I like resistance exercises are great. So you find out what works for you. I love my trampoline because I jump on it and it works every muscle in my body.
And I love my treadmill because it's here at the house. To it
and do my little hand weights aerobics. I like my little perfect push-up because I am lifting weights, but it's not fucking these goddamn books.
Right. I'm a power lifter, man.
I'm in 4 hours in the gym. I work out 30 minutes a day, probably 45 minutes at tops.
Yep.
And you know, and then I walk.
Oh, you know what I was thinking about just now?
Max on his treadmill.
And the climber now that I got, you know, is that so?
But cruise control, if you wanted to go to the next level, there's something you might have to look it up how to do it. But it's called wall push-ups, and it's basically you're almost like holding your entire body weight up. So that's got to be next level right there.
Well, you know, I because I was talking to my brother one time, you know, because he's actually he's a weight trainer you know, he has his license and all that shit. Anyway, he was talking to me. I said, well, man, it's kind of hard for me to do push-ups on the floor. And he was like, well, just do them off the back of your couch. And I'm like, oh, okay. So that's what he had me doing. And that was a lot better. And I was definitely getting some shit from that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So,
and that's the thing. I got this perfect push-ups thing where it's basically this. You rotate your arms as you're doing a push. So it's like a push-ups times 2. So it really kicks your ass. But my point is, like, some people don't like. I like repetitive exercise. I like to get on my trampoline and just jump, do my exercise. Boom, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 aerobic type stuff. Max likes to just walk on his treadmill and listen to music.
Yep.
You know. Or even the climber is repetitive. It's up, down, down. It's not like you're doing these different weights or this goddamn fit shit where you're jumping off your fucking wall onto the fucking couch and doing a backflip and then doing
like crazy shit.
So, and that might not work for you, but if it does, then try different things. Figure out what works for you as an exercise. Don't think you have to do this set of that. There's so much shit you can do. Even walking, just walk.
You know what? I do have to say though, cruise control. After our trip, right? After my trip out there, I thought for sure, oh God, I was going to get on the scale and hear some bad shit, right? And I actually lost some pounds, dude.
That's crazy.
With all the beer we drank and all the bad shit we ate. I still
peanut butter bacon burgers.
Right. With fries, seasoned fries.
Yeah, that was very interesting. I'm like, I like peanut butter, I like bacon, I like burgers.
Dude, it's a crazy. It's almost like a barbecue sauce. It's hard to explain.
It's almost like a barbecue sauce.
It was damn good, dude.
It was.
I think most of it was because of the burger itself. It was a good burger, but that's
sure.
Killer
but
burger.
we did a lot of walking while I was up there. Remember, we pretty much walked every day.
We had a decent amount of walking, but it wasn't like we walked. We didn't really do hardcore. I mean, your treadmill stuff is 3 times as much you would have gotten out there.
No, but at least we were active still. We weren't just sitting around drinking and eating all the time. You know what I'm saying?
No, right.
So,
that's true.
We did
like you can tend to do on vacations, right?
Well, yeah.
Well, that's what we did. It's like, it's New Year's, so we had our fun.
Well, I thought for sure, oh God, I was gonna get on that scale and hear some bad news, and I was like, when it said I was 192.8 or whatever, I was like, what? Seriously? Fuck.
Nice.
Oh, and by the way, cruise control, you left your ice cream here.
I did.
Yes.
I did.
So I'll eat a little bit once in a while, man.
Just have some, dude. Please eat it, dude.
I just eat a little bit, not the whole damn container like I used to.
Yeah, so, it's a peanut butter tracks type ice cream. It's not that bad.
It's good. Yeah,
it's pretty good.
It's good.
It's not bad.
So but
maybe that's why. Maybe the problem is I get the ice cream, but I get too buzzed and don't drink it, don't eat it. So that way I lose weight because I don't eat the ice cream that night. Like I normally would. You
wind up not eating it.
Okay, so let's switch gears here. Let's go back in time like about a month and talk a little bit about just mental health and stuff over the holidays, because people talk about it all the time, but especially with all this shit going on, no one's really talking about. Everybody's talking about COVID and everything else, but every single year suicide rates go up. Drug overdoses go up. Of domestic violence, other things like that go up from what I remember reading. So, and this is all. I'm going to start with something, and then I'll lead it into you, Lou, because I'm sure you know more about this, as you or lead it. But I'm going to start with something that people don't think about too much, especially up here in the Northeast or Northwest, or even anywhere you're at, is that in the winter months there's less daylight. So you're getting less vitamin D, and vitamin D is extremely important for your mood and for your well-being and for your immune system and everything else. So you're getting less, and you're not getting sunlight. And sunlight is important for a number of reasons. Mood, like for instance, I made a point of opening my blinds every day during the holidays. Just even if it's cloudy, at least I'm getting some light in. And even then, it's not that much light. So it's very important for people who are up in places like Oregon, where I'm at, where it's always cloudy in the winter, where it's a sunny day in the winter is like, oh boy, it's sunny.
Like the sun's out. Oh my God.
It's raining, it's cold, it's wet, it's cloudy and gray and dreary. And that really has a physiological and mental effect on your mental health.
Yeah.
So get lots of vitamin D, first of all, during the holidays. You should get lots of vitamin D anyway. But if there's a sunny day, get the fuck out there and just stand there so to get some sun.
Get the sun on you.
It's crazy how much that affects you psychologically, though. Really.
Well, okay. Here's what's crazy though, because when I used to do the suicide hotline, we didn't get a lot of calls during the holidays. It was mainly during the summertime. And here's my theory with that. So it still goes back to your vitamin D and sunlight. But the problem is it's even more fucked up because it's sunny outside. So you're thinking, oh, sunny day, I can go out there. Well, when it's 115, you can't be out there too long. So you really, it's kind of miserable.
So in Vegas, it's the opposite, because you're never in the sun because it'll bake you alive.
Exactly. So that's why people are staying inside, but yet it's sunny outside. So it's like, hey, it's a sunny day, man. I should be able to go outside.
I bet if you were up here and doing the suicide hotline here in Oregon, it'd be the exact opposite. Because in summer, it's never cloudy.
It probably would.
Well, here's another twist on that also that I can think of, is that a lot of people aren't reaching out to the suicide hotline because they're busy committing suicide.
Yeah, that's true. That's
I don't mean to make light of a dark subject, but I mean that's the truth. There's some truth to it.
Because here's the thing about the suicide hotlines: most people that are calling there aren't truly suicidal.
They're not truly. No, they aren't. They aren't suicidal.
Or they're reaching out for attention because people that are suicidal usually don't bother with that shit, or a lot of times don't.
Yeah. Oh, you won't even know. Yeah. With the people that I've known that killed themselves, I mean, I was like, huh?
Yeah,
you know,
it's a strange dichotomy because I'm not saying those hotlines don't do any good, because obviously they do. They do.
But
talk
well, I think it's for
down.
depression more so. You know, if you're depressed and you just want to talk to somebody or something, you know, that's probably a good place to start. You know what I mean?
But if they're like, oh, we had a short week today, not many people called. Well, is that really a good thing?
Right. For like suicidal people. Yeah, no, a suicidal person will not. I've had a few people that called that in the past. You know that. That were genuinely suicidal or did crazy shit.
Of course, and that's why it's great to have those services, because they catch even catching one person doing that will change. Oh yeah. Because remember, you're not just helping them; you're helping everyone around them has to deal with that suicide, because that is nothing. Nothing to fuck with.
I still remember the chick that was cocking the shotgun in my ear. She was like, "Oh, wow." I go, you know, she's like, can you call my family in Canada? Because I plan to kill myself. And I was like, well, can we talk? Maybe can you? And she's like, nope, I got a nice shotgun right here. And she just cocks the thing into the phone. I'm like, oh, fuck. So unfortunately, she hung up on me. So I don't know what the hell happened.
Oh, fuck, dude. And dude, see, that's why I couldn't do that shit, man, because I would always wonder, man. It would cause me like 911 callers or
dispatchers that would fuck with you couldn't do that. Huh?
No. I'm a customer service dude. I've been doing it for no. You have fun with that. I'm not gonna have that on my conscience. You know,
I guess you got to learn how to just, you know, like, yeah, fuck, you can help.
I think it's a certain type of personality that can deal with that better than others. And I'm not saying non-empathetic people, but I think people that have a little boundary, more of a boundary or something like that. Because I couldn't fuck with that, man. I don't know if I'm sure Lou, I don't know if you can. I'm probably.
Well, he's going in the mental health field, so I guess he's gonna have to.
Yeah.
And obviously Max can, because Max is a cop. If he weren't blind, you know, he would definitely be in that kind of field.
Oh yeah.
You actually tried. You actually considered thinking about dispatch for 911.
Yeah, when we were roommates, as a matter of fact, that was a thing for me. I was like, yeah, that would have been a 911 operator.
You've got that kind of detachment a little bit from people that allows you to just. Me, I'd be like, please don't do it. Don't. Got a family, Dad. Why you hang up? Hello.
I had people hang up on me and all kinds of shit. I call the hotline
myself, and I'm like.
Then you'd have nightmares about it, you know.
Yeah, the guys standing over your bed.
If, you know, or on the 911 call, I'm going, don't shoot her. Don't.
PTSD is real for cruise control.
Actually, I've heard a lot of 911 dispatchers get PTSD.
If you can hear somebody being abused or
oh sure,
killed on a, you know.
yeah. That's I had another guy who he told me he slit his own wrists, and I'm like, well, dude, you know, I'm trying to get his phone number, and he's like, I know what you're trying to do, buddy. And I'm like, well, listen, I don't want you to die. And he's going, well, you know, I'm a Marine, and if I decide I want to.
What the fuck you calling for, asshole? You should have said that. What the fuck are you calling for, motherfucker? I'm gonna die. Well, you're not. This isn't for you, bro. This is for people who try not to die. So why don't you?
Right. Well, that was
my thing is, how are you still talking? Like, seriously, like the moment that I start bleeding anywhere, I'm just like, oh, everything stops. Let me put something on it, or let me.
Slitting your wrist is actually a very, very bad way to kill yourself. It doesn't work.
Yeah, it's slow, isn't it?
Well, no, because your blood clots.
Right.
Like you can run out of blood, but at some point, a lot of times your body's
just gonna clot up, and then you won't bleed out, right?
You won't bleed out as hard or whatever. It's just that seems like a terrible way to fucking kill yourself.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's what he was saying too. He's like, well, you know, I could put my wrists in warm water, and that'll make it bleed faster.
I guess you can. God, how could you? Why would you want to? Okay.
Actually,
this is kind of macabre now. We're changing. Like, what's the worst way you could kill yourself? You know?
Well, you know that story. That story was actually, it had a happy ending, because later his girlfriend called, and she said, "Yeah, he said he just talked to you," and I said, "Yeah, he wouldn't give me any information." So then he's running out of the house, and she's like, "He's leaving." I was like, "Go tell me you know, this was some wild shit." I was like, "Tell me the car, tell me the make and model, the license plate, all that shit." So she got all that information. And so then I called 911, told them what was going on, where they were, all that. And she called me back later and said they were at the hospital and he was getting treated. So I was like, that's cool.
Nice.
So he actually did fucking cut his wrist.
Oh yeah.
So macabre, huh? I would say that as a guy, the worst thing that you could do is cut off your own dick.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, I don't even want to think about that shit.
That's a form of suicide. That's you're making a statement there.
Yeah, that's no.
Or what about? But maybe you should cut out your own taint, especially if it's really small. You got a small taint.
I've heard stories of people shoving things up into their dick hole.
Oh, dude. Yeah, dude.
But you know,
so this is a change of subject here, kids.
We went from holidays and resolutions to suicide, chopping off dicks, and all kinds of wild shit, huh?
Welcome to
Nothing sacred, man. That's why we're nothing
show.
sacred.
Yeah,
because we are nothing sacred.
Yes, that's what we do here. So and those, of course, there are other causes. We know the main ones for mental health, especially, are the expectations. I think that's probably the biggest one over the holidays.
Yeah,
is the whole notion of family and presents, and it's the most wonderful team.
Yeah,
in the
or the money. You know, it's like people they're low on money. Oh, I don't know what
money
to do.
Or just everything else. It's just
it's crazy.
Yeah. It's so what are the main facts? I'm sure you have
what
some
ideas. What do you hear about
that? What do you think about the holiday?
So
I mean, obviously we got the obvious reasons, but what else?
Yeah, but you kind of hit one of them on the head with the vitamin D thing. There is definitely something called seasonal depression, and it basically kind of starts when the time changes. You know, the daylight savings.
Oh yeah.
Stuff. You know, because when you think about it, sometimes depending on what your job schedule is, you wake up in the morning, it's still dark. You go to work and you come home and it's dark again. And you're just like,
and if you're sitting in an office, like you're sitting in an office all day, you know, and you're just like, fuck, you know. So
especially the more north you go, because here it does not get light until 7:15. 7 something here, and it gets dark at 4:30. So when I was working at Amazon a long time ago, or whenever I was doing it, I get up, work a 10-hour shift. I get up, it'd be dark. I work throughout the day. When I get done, it'd be dark. And then there's no sunlight, and that's a psychological thing because light is obviously important.
Sure.
But like I said, the vitamin D is very good too. So folks, get your vitamin D.
Yep.
Get your vitamin D, even if you have to get it in a supplement. I know that's. I actually suffered from a little bit of a vitamin D deficiency. Not that bad, but it was still like, hey, get your vitamin D somehow. And like you said, if you have to stand in the sun, stand in the dang sun, man.
Right.
Do it for
What kind of stuff, if you don't mind me asking, what kind of symptoms did you have from having that? Like, did you notice things that you were?
I didn't notice anything, but you do blood work, normal physical stuff.
So they found it in a blood.
They basically
workup.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And they're like, hey, your vitamin D is a little low. Now it's fine. I take vitamin D, but not even on a consistent basis.
But you didn't notice any changes or anything, right? Like you didn't feel
not really, no. But vitamin D is definitely, so it's a transporter. We're kind of getting off topic, but still, vitamin D is a transporter for calcium. And everybody knows how important calcium is for bones, for teeth, for everything,
Right. Yeah.
But if you don't have enough vitamin D in you, you can consume all the calcium you want. You can take big time calcium pills and all this stuff, drink a bunch of milk, drink a bunch of, eat all kinds of stuff that has calcium in it. And if you don't have enough vitamin D, you don't have the thing that transports it around your body. So it's kind of useless.
Right. Yeah.
That's why whole milk, or a lot of milk automatically has extra vitamin D.
Yeah. Supplemented in. Yeah. Right.
Wow. So that's the,
yeah. So that's the medical doctor in this episode. No, I'm just kidding. I don't even profess to be a medical doctor.
No, but it definitely is a sign of that. I think probably the biggest thing I think we would have to say would be the constant just media and everything telling you should be happy.
Right. This is happy time.
It's that word again. That word again.
Should.
Why aren't you happy? You should be happy.
You should be. It's Christmas. Well, how many times you hear that? It's Christmas. Come on, it's Christmas. You
should be happy. So what's wrong with me? And then of course that just leads to a spiral in what's wrong with me, and then everyone else is looking happy around you, even though it's just fake. Half of it's just bullshit. So going to a goddamn 7-Eleven, it's like no.
Anywhere.
Right.
Yeah.
Be happy. Be happy. Also, be happy. Why aren't you happy? Why aren't you happy? Why aren't you happy? Why aren't you happy? Why aren't you happy?
Yeah. Well, also we associate, let's say, those who celebrate Christmas and those who celebrate, certain holidays during the holidays, whatever your choice is there. You associate it with family.
Yes.
You associate things like getting together with family. Well, sometimes our families are fucked up and we're stressed out because it's like, oh, great, I got to deal with my sister who I can't stand,
right,
to be in the same room with for a long period of time. It's like, oh, okay, here we go.
So it's more of a chore almost. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's stress associated with that. A lot of times people realize that the last time they saw grandpa alive was Christmas last year. So it kind of brings up the whole bad memories of that.
Like death. Like a death.
Matter of fact, let me give you a double whammy I had. And this is an awful holiday in a lot of ways. Is I lost my dad on April 1st, 2010. And I lost my grandfather on December. Holy shit, it's tomorrow. Oh no, I'm sorry, December 10th, 2010. So I lost my grandfather and my dad in the same year, before the holiday. So we had to go up before Christmas to my grandma's to go to the funeral in Ohio for the first week, like a week right after that. And then we got back for Christmas, and my dad's gone, and my grandpa's gone, and that's
so it was a tough holiday. Like, fuck.
I mean, and that's what people go through all the time because people are losing their jobs and stuff like that, or people just don't have family. So you're seeing all these commercials with family and like, what are you doing for Christmas?
Nothing. Yeah.
And then even the idea of certain people like, hey, you want to come over? I'll invite you over for the holiday. That almost can trigger some bad shit too, because they're like, oh, I'm not gonna go over somebody because they feel pity for me that I don't have
right. Like you're a charity case. You don't have anybody. I got it.
It's just the worst time for the most vulnerable people, I guess.
I guess it's tough. Well, but you know what though, too, a lot of people, they get upset because they don't have anybody and don't have any family. But sometimes, like Luie was pointing out earlier, sometimes family's a pain in the fucking ass.
Right. And it's almost like this idea of I actually am forced to spend time with somebody that I cannot stand spending time with.
Well, let's go even deeper. And this is a little dark here, but let's say you have a person in the family who molested you. And you know they're going to be there at this place, and you're going to have to see them. And so even the weeks going up to that point where you have to see them, the stress level is driving you crazy.
Right.
And then of course you've got that idea there too. So there's a lot of stuff going on there, especially with holidays.
And like the normal things that you guys were talking about, like stress over money and stress over I gotta get gifts for everybody.
Exactly.
Or that too.
Or you have kids who are seeing all this stuff like, oh, Bobby got the fucking G.I. Joe power set. And I'm all I got was this, or you're thinking because a lot of times, I'm telling you, most times kids kind of get a sense of it, like they know their parents can give you certain things unless they're complete cocksucker kids. They're gonna go, hey, I got something. I know my mom and daddy aren't really that rich, but I got But the parents are thinking I failed my kids because I couldn't give them the G.I. Joe power set.
Right.
It's fucking ridiculous,
I always I'm a big comic stand-up comedian kind of person. Like I love listening to stand-up comedy. And one of the things that Cat Williams says is that he said, I bought my son 100 presents from the 99-cent store. I spent $99 and that kid was opening up presents like, oh, there's more. Oh, thank you, Daddy.
Well, because in their mind, it's quantity,
in
their mind, it's quantity. Like, oh, I got so many presents when really
kids can make, dude, I used to use toothpicks and make up fucking games. I'd just put a toothpick in half and turn it into like a little human toothpick. And light brights, and they'd be little characters.
Oh yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Kids can make it. That's the thing about parents, especially with materialism, because that's a big driver for the mental health issues. Is people think like, of course, the kids want the present, but if they're gonna fucking do their own thing anyway, who didn't have a stick as a kid as a sword? Pick up a stick. It's a sword. Oh, they didn't need a fucking lightsaber that actually worked and shit,
Right, that actually lit up and you put batteries in it and all kinds of shit.
Then again, maybe that's something today that kids do need, because I notice kids, the imagination thing is not the same.
Yeah, no, it's with all the technology now, everything's done for them, so they don't really have to.
Done. Like you don't have to imagine. Like I could imagine, like I said, I used to play with light brights.
Shit. I mean, that was the whole thing that we used to do as far as like acting out scenarios and scenes and things like that. Just
light brights. These little dudes. I don't know what the fuck they were called. Like 4 or 5, and each one would be a little like sprite or something like that. Like little. I don't know.
I think I remember.
Well, even thinking about imagination, like when it comes to, let's say, like we're kind of going way back here, but thinking about radio versus television.
Yeah,
that's
where
true.
You had to imagine what was going on.
The old stories, the old serials. That's why I like to read more than I like to watch movies. I love reading. I don't even watch movies anymore. But I wonder if that has something to do with too. Is that the kids are so much more material today that if they don't get the presents they're supposed to, they actually do get disappointed, and that does put pressure on the parents. Because there were times, when we were kids, man, there were times if you thought you wanted something and you didn't get it,
you were disappointed.
You were trying to hide it a little bit from the parents, but as a kid, you're like, oh, because they couldn't afford it. Or I'm not saying they couldn't afford it, but you didn't, or you get something.
What's funny is I remember one Christmas where I got everything that I wanted. Like I don't even really ask for that much. See, so my birthday is on Christmas, so I don't expect that much. I'm just like,
well, you're a different scenario, man. In your case.
people are like, oh, this is for your Christmas and your birthday. I'm like,
it's your birthday.
Thanks a lot.
Well, actually, that's an interesting question. How do you feel that affected you psychologically? Or how do you feel that's affected you overall? Do you feel like Christmas is less of a holiday because of that to you? Like, do you feel like it doesn't matter as much, or because your birthday, like it's overshadowed, your birthday's overshadowed?
It could be. It could be. I would say that yes and no. I mean, like, you have to kind of create this whole idea of, my wife actually, she's actually made it a point to where we do Christmas in the morning and then we make it a birthday in the afternoon / evening. Cool. Like it's an actual separate occasion altogether.
So 2 celebrations in one day kind of thing that you guys do.
Yeah, so I'm like, that's awesome. That is cool.
Yeah, because I'm sure you didn't get that for a while. You used to be like, it's birthmas.
Well, yeah.
Right? You probably even call it that. Oh, it's birthmas. Yeah, I get one big present, and it's the same present I would have got for Christmas. If my birthday were on the 31st of March, I would have gotten a separate present for the same amount. But I get one present for the one amount on Christmas and call it a day. It's like,
so wait a minute,
dude. I think you got so.
But as a kid, though, I mean, did your parents distinguish? Santa Claus brought you versus this is what we got you.
Well, what they did was really cool. At least when they were together. And I mean, we did a whole episode almost about my parents divorcing and all that good stuff.
And that is another factor in people's issues with mental health over the years. Yep. So let's go back to that in a bit. But go ahead. What were you saying?
Yeah. So they actually would celebrate my birthday like on the Saturday before Christmas, however that landed. So if it was like if it was on the 20th, then it was like a Saturday birthday. They invited all my friends and boom, boom, boom. We had a birthday, like an actual, birthday.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So 2 separate parties again.
Yeah, 2 separate parties, kind of. So it was kind of like, let's not. After a while, when I was old enough to be like, I don't really need a birthday.
Yeah, I don't need a party or
whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, we would have like a birthday cake, whatever. It's kind of part of Christmas, though.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Most people eat pumpkin pie. You have birthday cake.
Yeah, yeah. Which is good because I don't like pumpkin pie.
Oh, really? Seriously? I love pumpkin pie.
I'm not a huge pumpkin pie fan either. I think it's okay.
I
prefer pecan pie.
Oh, I like pecan pie too. I like pecan pie.
I'm a chocolate pie dude, man. I like
chocolate. Oh,
yeah. with graham cracker crust.
Oh, that sounds dope.
Yeah, man.
That sounds fucking dope.
Got that shit going on. Anyway, any other thoughts on this? Because it's like we can go over. I think we pretty much covered a lot.
Why don't you I think it was Cruise Control or Luie. You guys were talking about parents splitting up.
Yeah.
That kind of thing for holidays. And see, for me, my parents were having issues. This was like I remember Christmas of 1985. This is a fucking horrible Christmas for several reasons. And, my parents were fighting.
You still remember it to this day. That's crazy.
Yeah. Oh God, do I remember it? Well, what wound up happening is my mom was like, I think we're going to take a trip. I think we're going to leave for a while, you know? And so here it is. It's Christmas Day. You know, we open presents and then later we're driving to California.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, and that's the bullshit. You get trapped in that as a kid, you know. So
yeah, the power plays.
Yep.
I'm just gonna take you away from one of your parents for a while. Bye.
Yeah, I'm taking the kids, you know. That's a female thing, guys. Sorry.
so you lived in California for a little bit?
No, we didn't live in California. We were just going down there to visit, to go to Disneyland and forget about shit for a while, kind of deal.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
So it was like a little getaway, like
good old escape plan.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, let's get away from, you know, the house and your dad and your, you know, all that kind of shit, you know. So
right.
Yeah.
Crazy, man. But yeah, that's definitely a part of it as well, or previous memories from Christmases that are just because I think a lot more people than like to admit just don't have good memories of Christmases because, you know, they got the dysfunctional family or other things. I have a great memory. My Christmases were always pretty damn good.
That's cool. I've had some fucked up Christmas.
Too bad. Mine weren't too bad.
I broke up with a girl on Christmas. So
I remember
last Christmas.
Well, no, you know what it was.
She
gave you your heart, and the very next day,
I gave it away. Well, that was fucked up, man, because it was just, you know, she was just being a pain in the ass all day, and she had some other crazy shit in mind, and finally I said, you know what, enough is but as Cruise Control and another friend of ours was pointing out, you probably got yourself the best birthday present or the best Christmas present ever, which in hindsight, yes, looking back, I sure the fuck did.
Well, I'm telling you, man, one of the biggest culprits in mental health issues is the fucking music. I'm telling you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's what you hear.
It's the goddamn music, because no other time of the year is it forced happiness constantly. Forced happiness. So it reinforces the commercial. The commercials, they're terrible too, with the goddamn rings and the fucking cars. Like, I'm gonna get you a Gore for Christmas. You know, like
who does that?
Limited time Desert Nissan for the holiday sale.
Rich people do, I guess, or somebody, or people
That's
who have
weird, man.
A fucking car for Christmas. Like,
I would have to love somebody extremely to get them a car.
The gifts aren't important, you know. Like the gifts, especially if you get older. If you're still worried about gifts when you're our age, you got some fucking issues.
Yeah, I don't even give a shit. I'm just like I don't
care either.
You know,
God,
like,
I mean, literally,
even the fact that it's my birthday, I don't care. I'm like, just get me whatever you want, whatever you feel is necessary.
Anybody who's our age who gives a fuck about what they get for Christmas, I don't care who you are. You
or even for your birthday, it's like
seriously, go fuck yourself. So, I didn't get anything for my birthday. You're 50.
Yeah, no shit.
Okay, now maybe there are some milestones like 50 where you want something more to happen, but if you do, then you organize that shit for yourself, or other people who are around you will do it for you. If they
you set your own shit up, you know.
Or you have friends, and friends will go, oh, it's his 50th. Oh, we have to do something because it's 50th, you know.
Right.
Sure.
Right.
But like going back to the music, I mean, they literally have a song. It's the most wonderful time of the year.
Yeah, like that always reminds me of Home Alone 2.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Well, it's this jolly, you know, like, but if shit isn't right around you, then you're like, oh, I'm not feeling this music. What the fuck? And it's being forced down your throat.
It's telling you, hey,
be happy. Don't worry. It's one giant don't worry, be happy.
It's a psychosis, man.
Yeah.
And also, of course, I think illness takes a big toll on mental health. Like, you're always sick in the winter.
Yeah.
You know, you always get more sick, or other people get sick, or especially like guys.
Another bad thing is that some mental health people take days off, time off during that time.
Yeah.
So you're like, okay, I usually have a therapist that I see. What am I going to do now?
You got me thinking about that movie. What About Bob? Remember What About Bob?
Oh, heck yeah. I love What About Bob.
That kind of shit. Like, well, where's my therapist, man? I'm about to drink Drano and the fucker went to Bora Bora or something. You know?
Right. That's when you follow them.
Yeah. Hey, man, I booked a flight. Well, that's what he did in What About Bob? Remember?
Yeah, exactly.
Following Richard Dreyfuss and Bill Murray.
Yep.
Yeah,
I didn't like it. It annoyed the shit out of me.
It's a very good counseling. It's a very good counseling movie. If you ever want to learn anything about counseling, and psychology and things
because
like
he
that.
loses
You
his.
should watch
I can't stand annoying. I don't like annoying characters.
Well,
like,
at that point, see, when I saw that movie, I was actually, that's when I was working on the Suicide Hotline, I think.
Yeah.
So
nice. Yeah.
it made a lot of sense to me because it was almost like a satire. Like, these motherfuckers are that goddamn, so
yeah, like I couldn't stand Bill Murray's character in the movie. I just didn't like it. I just like another one that I couldn't stand was Cable Guy. I can't stand these fucking annoying or Cartman on South Park. Fuck Cartman. Cartman's so great. Fucking Cartman's a fucking piece of shit.
Really, you hated? I never knew that. I didn't know you hated Cartman.
Everyone loves Cartman. He's so cool. He's the fucking cocksucker. Okay, he's all right.
See, I didn't know you didn't like Cartman. That's funny.
I just don't like those fucking annoying fucking characters who. There's certain movies I like them, like Dumb and Dumber. They're both fucking annoying as fuck.
You hated those movies too?
No, I love Dumb and Dumber. Dumb and Dumber is my favorite movies. But my point is that you got the upright character who's really nice. And you got this fucking cocksucker who's like, fucks them, and then they have to deal with it. And then everyone loves the cocksucker. It's like,
but that's what makes the movie, man.
I know. I can't stand those movies. Fuck those movies. I want to punch those fuckers in the face. Get out of my fucking life, you fucking cocksucker.
Hey, that means that they're a very good actor. When they can actually make you hate the character, they have done their job.
Yeah, they have, because that's
Cable Guy. The guy, the put upon guy. What about Bob? Cable Guy. What's another one that's like that?
Cable Guy was your boy, Jim Carrey, right? You like Jim Carrey?
No, I didn't like the movie at all. Captain Ron was another.
Oh, you had Captain Ron. Or Captain Ron. Holy shit.
What about Ron Burgundy from Anchorman?
No, because he was the main character, and that whole movie was just overblown. Or here's another guy I couldn't fucking stand: Joe Pesci from the Lethal Weapon movies.
Oh yeah,
everybody loved him. Oh my god, he's so funny, Joe Pesci. We fuck the guy, throw him off a building, and he doesn't land in a pool. Let him land on the fucking other side in the parking lot, and get run over by a semi.
That's funny.
Bringing in groceries for whatever.
But hey, Cruise Control. Joe Pesci's going to kick the shit out of you for $200.
Probably. I know. We shouldn't be laughing at him. Are we laughing at him? Oh, what's the joke? What's so funny?
Wait, were you laughing at me? Oh, you think it's funny? Well, how about the character he played in what is it, Without Honors, where he's a homeless guy on the Harvard.
Remember the way that you love me. That fucking song. That was from that movie.
Oh, from the Without Honors, it is?
Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay.
I remember Madonna when she actually
That's right.
was relevant. Yeah.
That's right. When like early 90s, I think.
Oh man.
Popping.
Anyway.
Wow. Well, fuck, man.
I think it's about good. We covered most of this. So anything else you want to go over that we haven't gone over, Lou, in terms of mental health over the holidays?
I would say, as far as mental health in the holidays, like, yeah, we can show all the symptoms, but I always like to come up with the whole idea of what do we do about it?
Yes,
it's like great to know. It's great to know the problem, but what's this kind of the temporary or possible solution to it? Right. So, make a plan. A lot of times when people are depressed, let's just say you're depressed. If somebody asks you, "Oh, how do you feel today?" You're going to say, "Oh, I feel like shit. It sucks. I'm depressed. I don't care. Whatever." Right? But if somebody comes into your room and asks you, "What are you going to do today?" "Oh, well, I haven't really thought of that. Let me think. I guess I'm going to do this and do this." And the whole idea of making a plan kind of gets you off of your, "I feel like shit. The world's shit. Everything's shit."
Right.
Kind of thing. And you're like, "Oh, I'm thinking about what I'm going to do today." And so, plan out your holiday. Like, Christmas Day and Thanksgiving Day, they're only days, right? They're only one day, really.
Yeah.
I mean, you think about the holidays being a whole season or whatever, but really it's the thing of what are you going to do on that day that's going to make it okay.
Right.
And so just create some kind of plan. If it's just like, "Oh, I'm not going to hang out with my family," or maybe I'll hang out with them for a couple of hours because that's how much I can stomach them, and then I'm done.
Well, see, and that's
I'm going to make an exit. I'm going to leave.
That's the cool thing about Lyft and Uber and all that shit. Because I used to be like, they'd hold me prisoner over there. You know what I'm saying?
Dependent on other
and you're
people.
Like, they were going to drive me home, and they're going, "Whoa, well, why are you in such a hurry to leave?" But now I'm just like, "All right, I'm calling my Lyft. And they're like,
right,
you'll leave already? Fuck yeah, I'm out of here.
right.
You know?
So I think having an exit strategy, especially if it's something that you just can't deal with or whatever, as far as
like we were
family is
talking about
concerned.
earlier. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely have an exit strategy, or have like some kind of a plan where, okay, you know what, I'm gonna grieve. Let's say grandpa dying and dad dying. I'm gonna grieve them for an hour, and then the rest of the day I'm going to do something that I think is fun, whatever it is. I'm gonna go do something cool because grandpa and dad, the whole idea of them dying really sucks. And I'm gonna take that time to grieve, but I'm not gonna take the whole day to grieve. I'm gonna take a temporary moment in time to take care of that grieving process, and then I'm gonna go and do something else.
Yeah. And not only that, but I think people also have to learn how to have some self-respect as well with their family. And you have every right to say no. If you are concerned about going over to a place where someone makes you feel uncomfortable, or your politics aren't right, or it's going to cause issues, or some more serious stuff like we mentioned before in terms of sexual, that kind of stuff, or whatever, anything crazy, anything that makes you feel uncomfortable, you have every right to protect your own sanity and your own well-being and say, I'm not going to be there.
Yeah.
Sometimes the best way to deal with a trigger is to avoid it. It's to find ways to avoid it. If you know it's going to be
a trigger, if you know you're going to be stressed out about it, and if you're stressed out about it, then and it's going to cause you issues,
then have a backbone and say, sorry, I'm not coming.
Sometimes it's going to ruffle some feathers. Sometimes it's going to cause your mom or whoever the hell it is, the authority figure there, to go, oh, and you're going to go, I have to do what's best for me.
Exactly.
Don't do what's best for your family and what they feel, and keeping with the Joneses or whatever the fuck it is.
Do best for you. Yeah. With what you're feeling.
Speaking of keeping up with the Joneses, when it comes to like the whole money thing, you know what? If you don't get all the people that you're supposed to get gifts, blah blah blah, all that kind of stuff, they don't pay your bills at the end of the day.
Well, that's true.
That's true. Now, if somebody pays your bills, great. But if you have to pay your own bills, then why are you going to rack up credit cards just to satisfy
some other people
for one day?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
George Carlin put it best. He says, on holidays, we get gifts for people that we don't have the money for, to get gifts to people that we don't even give a shit about anyway.
I'll tell you, I don't buy anybody. I would buy stuff for our parents. That's it. So usually the battle plan is I send my brother, because he's the one who's big on how much money we spend. That's another thing, man. I remember one year I bought gifts for everybody, and he was like, "That's all you spent?" That's and that was a big thing for him. And I said, "Okay, well, fine. You go and you buy all the shit and do the legwork, and then you tell me how much I owe, and I'll pay you back my portion of it." So that's what we've been doing every year.
Again, your brother doesn't pay your bills, though.
Well, no, exactly. Well, that's true. That's true. But now
I just look, if you're saving, if you're like, let's just say you spent $100 and he thinks that you're supposed to spend $400. Well, technically you save $300 so you could put it towards your house note or something. You know what I'm saying? Like,
exactly.
You're doing what's good for you, not what's good for them.
Well, I found gifts that were practical for both of them that I thought they would like.
Sure.
And I just said, well, you know what? This will work. It doesn't have to be how much you spend.
At the end of the day, they are gifts.
Yeah.
They are not requirements.
No.
And that's what I think people kind of fall into. It's like, I'm required to spend this much money on this person.
First of all, if anybody goes and looks up how much you spent on that gift and has an issue with it, they can go fuck themselves.
Oh yeah.
Yep, that's true.
Seriously, if you're buying someone, it's practical for them and you think they like it because it could be useful for them in their lives, and they go, well, there was a $70 model, not a $40 model. What's your problem, man?
Well, it's funny too, because I know he's bought stuff for both of my parents, and especially my dad. He'll always say, "Dad, you haven't used the whatever, the camera we bought you." My dad's like, "Oh no, I haven't used it." So it's like, yeah, you just went and blew a shitload of money on stuff that
they're not going to use.
He's not going to use.
I have a good retort for your brother the next time he does that shit.
Okay.
That's all you spent?
That's all.
I'll spend $0.
Yeah, I spent $0.
Give it back to me, and I'll spend $0. I'll just take it back to the store and freaking return it. Bye.
Right.
Half the time, I find that parents find it really uncomfortable to get gifts from their kids, expensive gifts.
Well, my mom said this year, she was like, straight up, she said, "I don't want any gifts." She was like, "Don't get me any gifts." That's what she said.
Yep.
So, you know.
But did they listen?
No.
So they didn't listen. So they didn't respect your mom's wishes, which is actually worse than not getting a gift. They got, well, we have to.
Yeah, we have to get you something.
Psychology.
Mom.
I guess we're going a little longer here. We're not done here. Think about that fucking psychology. Your mom tells you explicitly, do not get me anything. I don't want. It's not she's going, oh, please don't get me. You don't have, don't like not the don't stop. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Actually, you know what? Though, I know we got my dad some shit.
Don't get me a gift. I don't want anything from you. And then if you don't get her a gift, you didn't get me anything.
No.
She literally said, please, because she's like, I don't need anything. You can't get me what I don't already have. She can get me.
Right.
Although I don't know if because we did get an Apple Watch for my dad. But I don't know if we got something for my mom or not. I don't think we did. I don't think we did.
Good. I hope you did. I hope that you hope that they, because it wouldn't be you, it'd be the committee or whatever, like, you know, your brother or whatever.
Yeah, of course.
It's like, oh no, we need to get her something. Oh, I don't care. She's just saying that to say that. No, she doesn't need a fucking thing.
Right.
She could buy 12 of the things, not blink, that you have, and you'd be struggling to cover your rent for the next week.
Exactly.
You know, certain people know where they're at, and they go.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
It's the same concept as when I used to go. I'll buy my $10 meal here at fucking Ricardo's. You know, Miss Silverhammer,
and then she's like, no, you're not gonna buy shit.
Like, I'm like, my mom's like barely, you know, I'm barely have $10 to my name, but I'm like, I'll buy my own meal.
Yeah.
And she goes, shut the fuck up. You know what I'm saying?
And my mom was always very impressed with that. You know what I'm saying? Like that you would still offer to pay.
You have to offer. You know? That's what I feel like.
Of course you do.
I think I did stop offering after a while. I think I learned.
Well, you got the hint after a while, but there was a long time where you would offer to, you know, hey, I got my meal. Don't worry about paying for my shit. And my mom was like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, whatever, dude. I shit this out. I sneeze this out. I pulled a booger out worth more than that fucking meal.
Right. Exactly.
You know, so anyways, funny. So that's an interesting idea about the psychology of presents, stuff like that. But yeah, I think we covered everything pretty well.
I believe we did.
Yeah.
I believe we did.
All right. I know you're on the out in Texarkana.
Not Texarkana.
He's in Texas, right?
Yeah, you're right. Right in the middle heart of
the heartland.
Looks like a lovely place right now. I'll tell you that much. Anyway, we've been covering some stuff tonight. This has been the Nothing Sacred Shrink Wrap for the 10th of January, 2022.
Yeah.
I am Cruise Control.
And I am Maxwell Silverhammer.
And I'm Luie Lope.
And that's the story there. Bitches. See ya.
We are nothing sacred. We are nothing sacred. We are nothing sacred.
With Maxwell Silverhammer.
We are nothing sacred. With cruise control. We are nothing sacred.